With Austin Forkner's bike here, you can see Pro Circuit's got their own triple clamps they make. You can buy those just as you see them there. They're very cool looking and different offsets for different bikes as well. They make their own carbon fiber front rotor guards. You can't buy those. The front rotor itself is Nissan. It's their custom caliper. Pretty sweet stuff. Titanium axle blocks and axles with their factory wheel sets in the back. They do make their own link arms here, as you can see, and they'll custom make those to their specs. All the engine components that you see here you can buy as well. The little water pump cover, the little caps. Pro Circuit makes and sells all that. The transmission themselves, they used to have those custom made over in England. I'm not sure if these are coated or if it's just, again, a new one. These here are their really cool overflows for the radiator. So when you get fluid that's spilling out as it gets hot, it'll drain into there and then feed back in when it cools. They've also got a really cool little GPS sensor up here. This thing tracks where the bike is on the track, and they can overlay that over some maps and look at different line selections and things while they're riding. These are their foot pegs, billet titanium. These things are really cool. Can't buy these, unfortunately. And they got a really cool piece under here they made that keeps mud from getting stuck up in there, so the peg never gets stuck up as you come through ruts. Really cool feature these guys put together. And if you look here, again, all billet clutch arm gives these guys a solid feel. And with this thing, he's got a clutch. This is Eli Tomac's bike, actually, and there's an actuated arm in there that reads the clutch position and RPM sensors, so they can see where the clutch position is at any RPM. Also in the back, you'll see a shock shaft gauge in there. They can go back, and that gives them more information on shock speed, shock depth, again, just giving them more feedback to make changes to the shock later. Pro Circuit makes a cool green carbon for those guys. A lot of laser-etched little custom pieces here, like on the brake cap that you see, tie pegs, the KHI cases that are all magnesium and custom, really gnarly stuff, titanium everywhere. Now, Jeff Ward, we're back here at his camp, and he's got some really trick stuff around his levers to keep his fingers warm. And I'm checking out the hubs on this bad boy, little rust pits in there. I don't know if that's some type of, secret that no one knows about. And also the counterweights for the rim lock. Interesting choice for Wardy. Also the tires that are rock hard and look to be like a 595, something we haven't seen in a while. It's an interesting strategy. And here we've got a black coating around this entire engine. I believe that's to build heat inside the motor, keep your legs warm. And then these foot pegs are razor thin and designed to slash your foot in half if you case a jump or land hard. Out back, we got the shark fin rear brake protector. Again, not exactly an exotic metal. Nothing really crazy, super lightweight, kind of blocky and bulky, but Wardy likes to keep it gangster. Nice and shiny, slippery seat. And on this side, you really get the horsepower secret of the Cowie here. These guys are up to some sneaky business. Take a look up here. This big hole in the air boot really increases airflow. Good luck, Wardy. Cooper Webb's bike, these guys are running X-Trig triple clamps. They're running the DID wheels with factory hubs. A lot of light speed carbon on here too. That stuff looks really good. These guys run pretty much stock brakes, which was surprising, but they come pretty good from the factory. This is the hydraulic clutch housing and everything in here that powers that. That's something different I hadn't really seen before. A lot of the stuff that you see on here is GYTR. I mean, that includes the head. All that motor comes pre-built from GYTR. You see the O2 sensor on that exhaust there. But all the side pieces and covers, you can buy that stuff from GYTR. A lot of that stuff you can buy. They got the tie pegs and obviously all the titanium nuts and bolts and things like that. It looks really nice. You can see in here the X-Trig makes a little quick adjust shock collar. That's so they can set sag easily and quickly without having to beat it with a hammer and a screwdriver. Those are pretty, just for convenience sake really, but they're pretty nice. All the custom laser etched stuff with the number 2 on there. Light speed carbon fiber skid plate and all that. Really cool stuff. On Aaron Plessinger's bike, you're going to see a lot of, again, GYTR parts that you can buy. A lot of the light speed carbon, which stuff looks really cool. Those guys do a great job, especially with Yamaha, having a lot of components that look and fit really well. Up front, you'll see the rotor guard, same thing, all light speed, looks really good. And they've got these Raptor pegs that are open in the middle. Pretty cool. You can see that mud just drops through those things. It doesn't pack up and stick on your pegs if you're in a mud race. On Ken's bike here, they got some really trick stuff. Again, another O2 sensor. You can see there's no Kickstarter on this bike. So if you look right in here, the starter is actually housed in there on this little carbon fiber piece they've manufactured. Pretty cool looking way to set that up. There's also a coating around the cases that they I don't know what the heck that is, some kind of trick stuff, but pretty rad looking. You can see all the machined little bits and pieces in there. Titanium brake pedal ends, billet titanium foot pegs. This is all stuff that comes straight from HRC. You cannot buy this stuff. Back in the back, factory hubs. They run the DID rims. Everything, even something here in the airbox, must be the battery holder, all carbon fiber. And Yoshimura is making these RS9 exhausts for the duals. Really cool. And look at this chrome paint on the shock spring. I'd never seen that before. I thought that was a really cool looking feature. Jason Anderson's bike's got some real custom etched stuff in here. His fuel cap, all the stuff on the side from Hinson. Those guys do a really nice job. Again, all the cases have coatings. He's got the factory WP stuff with all the adjustments in there. And out back, they've got a really cool brake carrier. It's all anodized blue with that really high-end Brembo braking system. Stuff really looks nice. W wheels all the way around for these guys. And Akrapovic, you don't see a lot of this stuff. They make really nice carbon fiber. They're known for their exhausts, but this carbon fiber chain guide and the skid plate stuff really fits well, really looks nice. Those guys do a good job. And if you look up this throttle body, this was interesting. They wouldn't tell me anything about it, but it looks about half the size of a normal throttle body that comes on a Husky, so not sure what they got going on there. All right, now we got Filthy Phil's bike. He's riding a 250 and super pissed about it. But all these parts and pieces, you see the clamps, the brake, or the handlebar mounts, that's all factory Suzuki stuff. A lot of this stuff probably came from James Stewart, I'm not going to lie to you. And if you look in here, one way they've been making more power with this bike is the guys from Get put in a second fuel injector into that throttle body, and it's really helped those guys out a lot. Over in the RCH tent, it's pretty cool stuff on Bogle's bike as well. He's got a black coating around his whole engine, all the cases. He's got tie pegs, the titanium brake pedal there. Obviously Hinson helping him out, but you can see all the little trick parts and pieces. Polished Nissan front caliper. Pretty trick looking stuff on these bikes. You can see on this side of the motor here, he's got some really cool custom billet clamps, little parts and pieces in there that are all factory Suzuki. There's some holes drilled in that clutch arm. The TLD KTM guys always make a really nice looking bike. And some of the cool parts on here are these little carbon fiber brackets for some of the ignition wires and things like that. Just protect them, hold them in place. And also these engine mounts here made of carbon fiber as well. And that actually has an effect on the handling of it. It gives the bike a little bit more flex. The guys like that. Blake Baggett's bike, a little more production looking. You know, these bikes come really ready to go, so a lot of it's just polish and making it look nice. Titanium foot pegs again. Those are from Raptor. The coating on the cases, but again, these are all stock cases. That stuff's just done to make it easier to clean and keep the stuff looking nice so it doesn't get stained by the mud. The link arms and things like that, they do machine those. They'll make those to certain specifications that they want. And back in the back here, these Brembo rotors are you can see how small and lightweight they are. Super strong, really, really expensive, these things. Here on Dungey's bike, this is a neat piece, and this was only on Dungey's bike, none of this on Muskin or Kennard's bike. The WP start hook, it's actually hooked into the fork, built into it. This was one of the first sets they had, so Dungey was the only one that had this.